Caught up, watch them all like 10 times each. Please, if you can, like, subscribe, comment, all that nonsense. I think if you're already watching it, you know the rules of YouTube. Do all that shit. It helps me be able to make a few more of these videos. So I think if anybody watched the last episode, it was basically me being frustrated about aliens, and that's pretty much been my day-to-day routine for the past week, is be frustrated about aliens. So I haven't really been focused on much else. So I thought today, instead of trying to talk about anything that's actually going on in the world, what I'd do is I'd regale you in a tale of city woe. I'll tell you a story about something that I've encountered, something that I've witnessed in this lovely city here in the Netherlands, The Hague, Den Haag, Schravenhaag, all those fancy words for it. The thing is, most cities have those characters in them. You know, those wily people that run the streets, and nobody really knows their names, but everybody recognizes their face. Every city has them. Every neighborhood probably has one or two. You know, most of the time they're people of the streets, if you will, hobos, homeless. Most of them are crackheads, or addicted to drugs. A lot of them. That's why they roam the shadows. They roam the city streets. But growing up, I grew up in a very small town in Tennessee. We didn't really have like street people. You know, we had a couple of, like, you had that crazy dude that'd be riding a bicycle around town. Everybody kind of, what happened to him? We did have one guy. I do remember one dude. His name was Tree Frog. The most inbred sumbitch you ever seen in your whole life. Like, he looked like a tree frog. He had big old tree frog finger hands, big old bubbly eyes, and everybody knew he was inbred. Like, his dad was his brother, or his dad was his grandpa, something like that. I don't know. But he was dealt a bad hand, so he came out looking like a tree frog, and hence the name Tree Frog. But anyway, we had people like that, but we didn't have street people. We didn't have city people, city walkers. So here in The Hague is a very big city, I guess. In general, it's more than 500,000 people. So it's not the biggest city, but it's big by most people's standards. There's a few of these people, a few of these characters that everybody recognizes. All right, that everybody knows. I don't think anybody really knows them. Nobody really knows them by name. So we all I call them different, like a couple off the top of my head. You got the old Whistle Me Dandy dude. So that's one guy. He's just this old man. Got to be like 80 years old, long beard, and he just rides around on his bicycle whistling dandies. Now, this man can whistle a tune on point, and it carries. You can hear him coming from halfway down a city block. His tune carries. It constantly sounds like you're inside of an auditorium listening to an orchestra when this man starts whistling. It's magnificent. Okay, so we got him. Who else we got? There's a couple of these gypsies that run around with their little slave dogs, you know, asking for money and whatnot. So we got names for each one of those. We got the accordion lady. So like, she's an old gypsy lady who sits under the bridge, just plays accordion all the time. Usually, you know, I kind of treat her like the bridge troll. So like, every time we go through, I toss her a coin or something, or like a little candy, or, you know, whatever trinket I might have in my pocket. But the story I will tell you today is about a man that I have monikered the Vogelmeister. Now, the Vogelmeister, in English, that would mean the Birdmaster. Okay, so the Birdmaster is a man a black gentleman with long dreadlocks. I think word on the street was he comes from the Caribbean. He's an island man, if you will. I don't know from what island. Could be many of it. Probably a Dutch one. But that's just the rumor. I don't know. He could be from anywhere. He could be from Tennessee as well. I have no idea. But the bird, I'm going to say Birdmaster because Vocalmeister is not, smooth on the throat. So I'm going to say the Birdmaster. So the Birdmaster, his whole shtick is this man can summon the souls and spirits of the sky. He can rain havoc down on any of his enemies through the magical use of birds. He wields an avian power. Not just pigeons. Like this guy, he can control seagulls. He can control. I've seen him fuck around with the black arts, with the crows and the ravens. But a lot of pigeons. Yeah, he can do pigeons. Doves. I've seen doves. I've seen half pigeon, half doves. They could just be albino pigeons. I don't know. I'm again not a doctor. I don't know how that works. But anyway, he has a power with the birds. Now, usually I think every city has a bird man, a bird person, bird lady. But this man, I think he sets himself different where I truly believe that he has a magical ability. Okay, he can intuit what these creatures are thinking. I feel like at night, under the third full moon of the year, this man might grow wings himself and might actually become a bird for a day or two. And now, why I know that it's not just he's not just feeding these birds, he doesn't just take care of them. This man is some sort of sorcerer, some sort of bird sorcerer, is because one night a few years ago, I had been on the back end of a coke binge, been having a little too much fun over the weekend, drinking a lot, snorting a lot, partying a lot, dancing a little. So I was coming home. I think it was probably like a Tuesday morning. I was coming home, Tuesday morning, but like 2 a.m. I was walking home because at that hour of the night, there's no taxis, there's no trams, there's no nothing. So you gotta either bicycle or walk. I chose to walk. I don't trust myself on 2 wheels. So I was walking home, and I get next to this little park right in the center. Now, this park is it's not really a park. It's more like just a big paved area. There's a basketball court or two. I don't know, little playground. Not really a park though. But yeah, so I'm walking by, and I look over, and who do I see? It was hard to see him because, he is a dark man, and it was a dark night. But I saw him in his dark clothes with his dark skin, standing in the middle of this concreted area, this paved area, surrounded by birds. Now, hold on. I'm not talking just a collection of birds. I'm talking this dude was in a small circle around him with some crows in a perfect circle. Only crows. Right outside them in a larger circle was pigeons. Were pigeons. In a perfect circle. Only pigeons. No crows in this second circle. Just a circle of pigeons. And then right outside that, big old circle on the outer ring of seagulls. Perfect circle, only seagulls, no pigeons, no crows, all in their own circle, separated, listening, paying all the attention to the Birdmaster. And I kid you not, now again, remember, I was probably a little coked up, probably still drunk, but I know for a fact that I heard that man whistling and chirping, speaking the birds. This man was speaking the language of the birds. All right. Now, he was talking to these birds. He was cawing. He was crowing. Tweeting, whatever pigeons. I don't even know what pigeons do, but he was talking to them in their language. Not in ours, in theirs. Not in any human tongue I've ever witnessed. And at that moment, I was terrified. I was frozen in my tracks, stunned, could not move, stopped walking to take all this in, to see it. I was standing there, maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds. Felt like eternity. Felt like I was just frozen in a perpetual state of fear for longer than I could grasp, longer than time would allow me to understand. But after, I think, 30 seconds, half a minute, 45 seconds, whatever. Again, not a doctor. I'm not good with measurements. He notices me. Well, I don't know if he noticed me. I think one of the birds probably noticed me and then told on me, informed on me. So, but anyway, he notices me. He turns, snaps his head over, looks at me. This man's eyeballs were glowing green in the night. He sees me. Now in this park there is a thing that I call the hobo toilet, or we call the hobo toilet. Me and the people in my circle, we call it the hobo toilet. It's just a big sort of outdoor toilet, like a city toilet thing. You press the button, go in. But problem is, some hobos like to take it over, so it doesn't really get used as a toilet very often. It's just basically a place where hobos put their shit and they do shit and fuck and everything in there, whatever. But it's a hobo toilet. So I'd run. That's my only salvation at this hour of the night. I run to the hobo toilet and pressing the button because the guy is walking toward me with his glowing green eyes and a fucking army of seagulls and pigeons and crows just walking with him in unison. So I'm freaked out, right? So I'm running, press the button. He's getting closer. It's like Michael Myers fucking running at me with his army of birds. Finally, the door opens, and it's just, it's awful. It's filled with fucking bottles of piss and piles of shit and like, boxes of shit everywhere. But I go in, shut the door, lock the door. Now I'm in there, and I feel safe. For a moment, I feel safe. But I can hear outside. I can hear some scratching on the outer wall. I can hear like a little pitter pat of crow's feet, tap dancing around. And I can hear this dude whistling and fucking tweeting in bird language, some mystical charm that he's trying to put on me, a curse or something. I don't know. But I can hear it, and it's freaking me out. And of course, I can't breathe because it's this little tiny hot metal box is just filled with shit and piss and the sex fluids of hobos galore. So I can't breathe. I'm just choking on nasty shit. And outside, I'm getting cursed by the birds. But then I realize, oh shit, after 15 minutes, the timer on this thing goes off and the door's going to open. So I know my time is counted. All right, I know that my fate right now is 13 and a half minutes away from me. So I'm waiting. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do. When this door opens, what am I doing? Am I just going to book it? Am I going to kick him? Am I going to try to fight the crow master, the bird master? What am I going to do? We get down to like 5 minutes or so. I don't know, a couple minutes left. I'm still stressing. I'm freaking out. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. Silence. Okay? Outside, silence. Cannot hear the pitter patter of the birds anymore. Cannot hear the bird master and his forces of darkness. Can't hear anything. So I open the door a little bit. I peek out. All clear. Everything's gone. All clear. Look around. Nobody in sight. Bird master's gone. Not a bird in sight, if you will. So I start walking. Start heading back on my route home. I get home. Okay, so cool beans. Very anticlimactic into that night. So I get home, I go to sleep. Wake up the next morning, I start thinking, did I dream that? Did I nightmare that? What was that? Was my head invaded by just the drugs and the alcohol? I have no idea. But I let it go. So a day or two goes by, I'm back on my normal routine. I'm going to work, get off work, go home, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Until one day, I think it was my next day off, so a few days later, I'm walking through the town. And I notice, way up high, up on a ledge, is a row of seagulls. Okay? Just a row of seagulls. Now, this should not come as a surprise to anyone that lives near the sea. There's seagulls everywhere, and they like to sit up high, perch themselves lofty atop of a building somewhere, and keep an eye on things. Always looking for some trash or a piece of fish or something. Okay. Not out of the realm of normality. But I get the birds back in my head. Okay? The curse of the bird master comes just striking me down with fear in the middle of the day. I start freaking out. Okay? These seagulls are after me and me alone. They're looking for me. So I keep going. I speed up a little bit. I walk a little faster. I notice that the crows are just eyeballing me as I'm walking around. You know, they're looking like that. They're looking like that. So I'm starting to get a little stressed about the crows and the pigeons. The pigeons are everywhere. Okay, if you're in a big city, you know pigeons roam the streets willy nilly. They don't give a fuck about nobody. But I started noticing that the pigeons, you know, they're looking at me kind of funny every time I walk past or I get ready to cross the street. A pigeon just out of nowhere, he wants to buck up. I'm not talking sweet little pigeon pies, okay? I'm talking like city pigeons. Half of them don't got feet, you know, their wings all fucked up, missing feathers. Some of them got one eye. These are mean pigeons. If you walk down a dark alleyway in the middle of the night, which I'll get to in a moment, and you saw a pigeon like this, you'd turn around, you'd walk around. You know, that pigeon probably come at you with a blade or something. Anyway, this is broad daylight. The sun's shining. I'm on my day off. I should be walking around whistling my dandy. But I start stressing. I start freaking out. So I spend the whole day thinking, legitimately believing that I'm walking around being followed by seagulls, crows, and pigeons, and I'm cursed by the Birdman. Okay? At some point, you know, I had to get a buzz. I had to kill the charm. I had to kill the curse. So I started drinking. I thought if I got drunk enough, you know, I'd drink the curse away, and the birds would know it. They'd be able to feel it. They'd leave me the fuck alone. Boy, was I wrong. So I went out that night, was hanging out with some friends, some ladies. Had a lot to drink. Okay, a lot to drink. Only thing that did was it made me get aggressive toward the birds. So I spent the whole night walking around with a group of people, fighting birds, like throwing shit at pigeons, like trying to choke out crows, and legitimately fist fighting with seagulls. And all these people were just like, what in the hell is wrong with this dude? Why is he fighting the birds? And what, better yet, I think they were actually thinking, why are the birds fighting him? What has he done to the local bird population that they are so angry? They didn't know about the curse. They had no idea about the curse. Okay, only I knew about the curse, and only the birds knew about the curse, and the bird master, but he's nowhere to be found. He's probably in the shadows. In the shadows. Not hiding in the shadows, he's in the shadows. So I'm going around all night, getting drunker and drunker, trying to stay drunk enough to fight these fucking birds. Until finally one gets the best of me. Seagull swoops in, hits me right in the side of the face. Now, I know I don't have any witnesses to it at the moment. I have witnesses. I know their names. I could substantiate these outlandish claims I'm about to make. I swear to God, on all that is holy and all that is cursed by birds in the world, that two crows came down on the wings of a seagull. The seagull flying, woo, like that, flying down, woo, with a crow on each shoulder wing blade thing, like two fucking missiles on a seagull's wingspan. And that seagull came down straight at my head, and he just sort of like a bomber, like a jet fighter bomber, just dropped those crows right into my face, and they just started pecking at me. It's like that scene from fucking that one movie, The Crows. I'm just getting pecked by crows. I got attacked, and they beat me. They got me. I gave up at that point. Didn't want to deal with it no more. I gave up. So I ended up going home that night. My friends laughing their ass off. I think there might be a video somewhere of this. I think. I'm not going to swear to it, but I think there's a video. If there is, I'll try to find it one day, and I'll sell it to TMZ or some shit. But I got my ass beat by these crows. Meanwhile, the pigeons, they're just standing around laughing, watching, probably putting it on Pigeon World Star Hip Hop or all that bullshit. So the next day I wake up, and I'd gone home that night with a lady friend who I knew, and I wake up the next morning and just beat to shit. Like, I got bruises all over me. I got pecks and scratches and fucking feathers stuck in my ear. And I didn't remember anything at this point. I was just like, what happened to me last night? And she was like, you got into a fight with birds and they won. And okay, I'm waking up. But bullshit, what happened? She was like, no, really, you got into a fight with many types of birds, and they won. They beat you until you kind of started crying like a woman. Now, that was not a good way to wake up. I didn't want to wake up being told that by a lady, that she had saw me get my ass beat by some birds. But I recalled the curse of the Birdman, the Birdmaster. I recalled, so I knew it wasn't out of the realm of possibility. Stranger things have happened to me in my delirious states. So I accepted it. That was my fate. So a day or two later, I'm walking past that little park, and who do I see? Who do I see sitting on a bench, feeding the birds? The Birdmaster. I swear to God, I kid you not, the guy looks over at me, smiles, winks, his eyes glowing green, and he starts laughing maniacally. Right in my face. Well, not right in my face, to my face, about 5-10 meters away. So at this point, I know it's real. The curse is real. The curse of the birds is a legitimate curse that I am afflicted with. I know it's real. So I go on about my way. I'm thinking, okay, he had his fun. He put the jinx on me. Okay, I got the avian juju now. He got me. He won. So I spend the next month freaking out. Every time I see a bird, I'm cowering. Okay, every time a seagull swoops in, I won't even go to the beach at this point because the seagulls there, those are fucking suicide bombers over there. They'll come at you. They don't care. They'll come through the glass just to get your French fries. But I start freaking out every time I see a bird. I'm shaking. I can't go outside anymore. I can't even look outside because I look outside and I see the birds sitting on the top of the building across the street. I know they're waiting on me to come out. So I spend a month scared to death of these fucking birds. But every time I do go outside, I walk past that park. I see the Birdmaster. He's sitting there, sweet as could be, with his crooked little smile. Never angry. Never angry. Just a gentle, silent soul of the city. But me, I'm terrified. Inside, I don't let it show, obviously. Look at me. Big, strong man. No, I'm not gonna walk the streets looking like a bitch, looking like a bird's bitch. No, I keep a straight face, but inside I'm crying. I'm terrified of every winged creature that I see. Okay, I'm starting to try to figure out ways I can go make a peace talk with the rats of the city so they can get on my side. I'm trying to start a war against these fucking birds. But I spent the whole month terrified of these birds. Now again, almost every day of that month I was extremely drunk and probably coked up. So it may just have been, maybe a bit more of my brain being scared than my body or my soul, I don't know. But finally, I think it was about a month had gone by. I'm walking past the park, see the Birdmaster sitting there, feeding his birds. His minions, his fucking minions, evil fucking minions. So I walk up, I finally get the nerve, I walk up, I say, hey man, what's up? Are we good? You still, what's going on? You fucking with these birds? They fucking with me? What's the deal? You gonna lift the curse? And he's just like, what you talking about, man? In his Caribbean accent. I don't know. I can't do a Caribbean accent. If I tried to, I'd get called a racist. But he starts in his Caribbean accent. He says, what you talking about, man? And I said, you put the curse on me, the curse of the birds. He said, I didn't put no curse on you. What are you talking about? I said, that night, remember that night I came by, I saw you was talking to the birds, and then you chased me into the hobo toilet. Like, what, you put a curse on me or something? He was like, I didn't put no curse on you. I was like, then why'd you chase me into the toilet? He was like, cause I had to shit, man, and you was running to the toilet, but I had to shit, and I was trying to get in there, and I was like, then where'd you go? Like, when I got out, where'd you go? He was like, I went shit in the bushes and I left. I'm not gonna stick around after I shit in the bushes. The police gonna come get me. So I said, you didn't put a curse on me. He said, I didn't put no curse on you, dude. How am I gonna put a curse on you? I was like, I don't know. You talk to the birds and stuff. He was like, I don't talk to the birds. He's like, I just feed them. I pet them. They bring me stuff. I bring them stuff. I was like, so you really didn't put a curse on me? He said, I didn't put no curse on you, buddy. And I sat there for a minute with him. I talked to him. Everything was cool. And I was like, all right, so we're good. We're peaceful. He was like, yeah, we're peaceful. But I can't speak for the birds. You're going to have to talk to them yourselves. And I swear to God, he pulled down his sunglasses. Pulled them down, fucking glowing green eyes. He just smiled at me and walked away. I ain't had no problems with the birds since, though. Not a fucking single problem with these birds. But I know for a fact that magic is real. And if you're willing to accept magic into your life, you can see parts of the world that people would tell you cannot happen or will not happen, should not happen. But if you're open to it, you can experience some wild things in our reality. Now, I'm not saying you need cocaine and liquor to do it. It might help. But just keep your eyes and your heart and your mind and your soul open to all possibilities. And by God, magic might just touch you one day. Also, beware of the birds. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.